Top 10 tourist attractions in Beirut. 1. Nejmeh Square. The square was part of the extensive reconstruction Beirut underwent after the Civil War. It is surrounded by cafes and restaurants, a crypt museum and key governmental edifices including the Lebanese parliament. This area is most notable for its stone elevations, retained buildings, and preserved facades. This area in its current structure and form dates back to the 1930s, and was inspired by the Place de l'Étoile in Paris. 2. Beirut Exhibition Center. The center is the first structure dedicated to contemporary art in Beirut New Waterfront District. It is composed of 1,200 square meters of art gallery space, with its exterior shell covered in reflective mirror-like steel. Working with the topography, the building sits in a reflective pool of water that further reflects both the building and its surroundings, including a bamboo grove to the north and a sculpture garden to the south. The city becomes a work of art, an abstract expressionist painting in motion. Beirut finally sees itself in the mirror. 3. Grand Omari Mosque. Before being eclipsed by the Muhammad Al-Amin Mosque, Al-Omari used to be the city's most important. The foundations were first laid for the construction of a pagan Roman temple, later to be converted into a Byzantine church, and a later Crusader church. Mamluk rulers eventually established the present sandstone structure in the 13th century. The mosque underwent several restorations by the General Directorate of Awqaf and the Tourism Ministry, specifically in 1952 and 1949. 4. Scifi Village. Located at the southeastern periphery of downtown Beirut, Scifi Village is composed of 16 buildings organized in 4 clusters. This precinct is a primarily residential area and is characterized with brick-paved streets, children's playgrounds, seasonal gardens and public squares and fountains. Scifi is the art hub of Beirut and is vibrant with activities in its designers and art galleries, antiques and artisan shops, delicatessen stores, decorative art and beauty specialist boutiques. The new urbanist-style neighborhood of Scifi Village is finished with cobblestone streets and flowery gardens around every corner. 5. Grand Surrail and Hamra Clock Tower. With intermittent views of the Mediterranean Sea down below, Surrail Hill is home to some of Beirut's best-preserved Ottoman structures. Due to security concerns, the roads around the Grand Surrail, a monumental Ottoman-era building housing the Prime Minister's headquarters and spread across 39,700 square meters at the highest point of Surrail Hill, may not be easily accessible. However, the lobed arches and austere vision of its majestic 80 meters facade can be appreciated from afar. Adjacent is the Hamra Clock Tower, first erected in 1897, then the highest structure in the city, and the premises of the Council for Development and Reconstruction. 6. Souk el Taib. Souk el Taib, literally translating to the Good Market, is an open-air farmers' market in downtown Beirut specializing in Lebanon's organic produce. Created in 2004, this market was founded with a mission to bring communities together to share food and local traditions. It is also aimed to promote the culture of small-scale agricultural production in Lebanon as it competes with a globalized and industrial food trade. Every Saturday on Trablos Street, farmers from all over the country gather here with their fresh produce such as juices, jams and labneh yogurt. 7. Martyrs Square. Martyrs Square is a central, and biggest, town square in Beirut and its central district. Initially named Place des Canons, it was built by the Ottomans during their occupation of Lebanon in the 19th century. During World War I, Beirut suffered from a blockade by the Allies which was intended to starve the Turks out. However, the result was a famine that killed a quarter of Lebanon's population. An important landmark in Lebanese history, Martyrs Square is dedicated to those who were executed during Ottoman rule. It is also the traditional dividing line between East and West Beirut. First constructed in 1931, the monument has remained relevant due to the repeated political assassinations in Lebanon's recent past. 8. Beirut Souks. The Beirut Souks is a mega shopping district in downtown Beirut. It is home to more than 200 shops and a department store, thus making it Beirut's biggest shopping strip. The Souks project is a reconstruction of the old medieval market, after it sustained irreparable damage from the Lebanese Civil War. An architectural wonder downtown, the Beirut Souks are the hub of designer and mid-range brands. Walk around the popular shopping area, dine, peruse and maybe spend some money. Beirut is one of the Middle East's fashion capitals, and this place is one of the reasons why. 9. Hamra Street. A center of Beirut's 1960s intellectual activity, it is no surprise that this street was called the city's Champs-Élysées. It is a popular place with tourists and locals alike, who gather here to try to absorb the remnants of the intellectual city. Hamra is home to several bookshops, 3 universities, including the American University of Beirut, and a rich nightlife. 10. Zaituni Bay. Zaituni Bay is a quayside commercial and tourist strip around the West Marina. It composed of 17 restaurants and cafes, 5 retail stores, 2 activity centers, a yacht club and a boardwalk. The strip houses several international restaurant and cafe chains, aside to many local outlets serving seafood, and Lebanese or French cuisine. Zaituni Bay is accessible to the general public with the promenade on the upper level linking the public sidewalk to the marina boardwalk in a vehicle-free environment accessible through 7 pedestrian access points with adjacent underground public parking facilities.